Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Professor Nenden, as my beloved lecturer for this subject, EFL Curriculum Development, and also my beloved friends. In this time, I would like to present to you all my research-based practice articles entitled Developing a New Approach to Curriculum Informed Intercultural Education. Lessons learned from China. Well, in brief, these research-based practice articles aims to develop a new approach to curriculum informed intercultural education based on the lesson learned from China's English language curriculum. Specifically, these articles reviews the curriculum models in China, including the structures of the curricula of English language teaching and its implementations at the tertiary level in terms of intercultural education. And then it examines the extent to which it is related to the programs of the new model of the curriculum in Indonesia that is implemented in my institution right now. It is Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka or MBKM. So I would like to start with the backgrounds of my study here, why it is China. Actually, based on the studies I read for the last decades, studies have mentioned that English is the most popular foreign language in China that has the largest number of students in the world who are learning English through formal instructions. So I think it will be very insightful, I guess, to learn a lot how the teaching practice of EFL class in China in terms of intercultural education. And then studies also reported that the teaching syllabus in China, particularly for the English major, it emphasized the development of cross-cultural abilities as one of the teaching principles, so that all the courses in China should pay attention to developing the students' awareness and sensitivity to cultural differences, encouraging the students' tolerance and flexibility of cultural differences. So I guess it's also very good idea in integrating the developments of cross-cultural ability in the teaching principles. So I would like to learn more about how the China's teachings practice here, integrating cultural knowledge in their teaching practice. And then in the context of ELT, study also reported that the Chinese educators, they have developed globally English as a lingua franca for the last 20 years. It is very interesting for me since we know that English as a lingua franca means that English as a common language. English is not only belongs to the several countries in the inner circle, such as America or British, but it is also used by almost every people in the world. So that China here viewed English as lingua franca, and it will be very good for Indonesia also to learn to implement English as a lingua franca in our country. And then what happened to the Indonesian current models of curriculum? As we know that, last year in 2020, our governments, the Ministry of Education and Culture, through the Directorates of Learning and Students Affairs, the Directorate Generals of Higher Education, still continue to strive to improve the quality and relevance of the graduates from the bachelor programs. And they launched these programs, curriculum programs, MBKM, Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, that aims to encourage students to master various useful disciplines to enter the world of work through learning activities outside the study program and campus. Yeah, it is taken from the documents of MBKM Kemendikbud 2020, and actually there are 8 programs, including MBKM programs here, but I only focus on the students exchange programs as one of the programs that will be conducted in my institutions, in next semester. So here, according to the documents of MBKMs, the exchange students programs of 2020 aims to increase the students' insight into nationality, and then also increase their love of homeland, and then expected the students to have an understanding of diversity and tolerance, and then have an understanding of the cultural diversity, customs, ethnicity, language, and various potential wealth of resources, as well as another potential that is owned by the nations and country. Well, so I guess it's very relevant for my institutions, that can that will apply these kinds of programs, students exchange programs, to learn a lot from China's models of curriculums in terms of intercultural educations, regarding this objective, regarding this the objectives of this program. And for this research best practice article, I propose 2 research questions. The first is how is China's English language curriculum informed intercultural education at the tertiary level? And then the second one is to what extent to which it is related to the programs of the new curriculum model in Indonesia, MBKM. And for the literature review, I have reviewed several books, articles, and formal documents, in terms of these 3 frameworks. The first is about the development of intercultural education in China's tertiary level. And then the second one is concerned to the previous study into curriculum development. And then the third one is Indonesian current model of curriculum, or MBKM. And for the research methodology, I try to adapt McKinney et al. 2006 design research from a curriculum perspective. So for the research design here, it is used qualitative approach along with relevant documents and literature were displayed to reveal the findings. And then the data collections, I deploy the secondary data collection technique to report the data from the published books, journals, and an online website that I have reviewed. And then to analyze the data, the procedures I use, followed the McKinney et al. Design research, from a curriculum perspective. So this study was drawing heavily from existing theoretical perspective, and then highlighting related literatures and evidence-based case studies with merits and demerits of various curriculum planning and development models, applicability and explicability from tertiary education context in China. And finally, I analyzed the extent to which the lesson from China curriculum could be adapted in my institution. And for the findings, I refer to the research questions I proposed at the beginning. So I make it into 2 themes. The first one is China's English language curriculum informed intercultural education. And then the second theme will be about the lessons from China's curriculum concerning MBKM. And here for the lessons, I make it into such designs of the curriculum in the forms of blueprint, that can be adapted in my institution. Well, so here's the finding. So the first findings is concerned to the developments of intercultural educations in China. Yeah, we can see here that this is the English teaching syllabus. Yeah, for tertiary English major taken from the what is it, Ministry of Education, China's Ministry of Education, 2003, and cited in Kofang, 2012. Yeah, and here are the structure of course objective in English teaching syllabus. Yeah, so they are five teaching principles to support the goals of language teaching practice in tertiary education in China here. And one of them is cultural awareness. So they don't only focus on learning strategy, affective attitudes, linguistic skill, and linguistic, but also cultural awareness. So this is very interesting, I guess, such a insightful insightful knowledge for other country that can which can apply curriculum inform intercultural education here. So here, developing cross-cultural abilities is one of the teaching principles in China. Yeah. So all the courses in China, they should pay attention to develop their students' awareness and sensitivity to cultural differences, encouraging their students' tolerance and flexibility of cultural differences. Yeah, this is I think one of the most insightful things that I can learn from these structures of course objective, in which I don't find in my institutions or other institution in Indonesia. And to be more detailed, I also reviewed the current study conducted by Liao and Li 2020, and then also Liu 2020, about the development stages of curriculum informed intercultural education. So they proposed or introduced 3 dimensions of curriculum informed intercultural education here. The first stage will be intercultural integration. Yeah. So here, intercultural integration with language teaching. Yeah. So there is an integration, between culture and then language teaching. Yeah. There is a shifting from teaching linguistic knowledge alone to teaching both linguistic and cultural knowledge. So it viewed as some things cannot be separated, and I think it's very good idea because when we learn about the language, it cannot be separated from its cultures, of course. Yeah. In particularly for teaching English as a foreign language in our country here, it's mean that we teach our students English language. At the same time, also we need to introduce them about the cultures. Yeah. Okay. And so this is the first stage, intercultural integration. And then the second stage or the second dimension here is in terms of teaching orientation, intercultural skill or awareness oriented teaching. Yeah. So here the scope of cultural knowledge expanded from the target language culture to all the possible cultures that might be involved in communication. In teaching practice in FL class in China, the teachers or the lecturer try to expand the cultural knowledge of their students, since China viewed that English as a lingua franca. So here English is not only belongs to the British or American cultures or Canadian cultures, but also belongs to other countries who use English as their foreign language or second language or international language, so that they try to expand the target language culture, not only in the circle country, but also in the outer country and extended countries such as Asia, yeah, Indonesia, Thailand, and many more. And then the third stage here, or the third dimensions, it's in terms of teaching structure. Teaching structure is structured or exploratory teaching. Yeah, the equal importance to China's culture and the multicultures of other country in English teaching. Yeah, in addition to the target language culture. Yeah, so that yeah, they they explore their teaching activity not only uh, what is it, guided by the textbooks or fully textbooks oriented, or fully what is it, yeah, they try to concern to the student centered here, yeah, and then they give them more space, more chance for the students to have such a inquiry, or yeah, inquiry or project based, yeah, project based learning, yeah, so that they yeah, concern to the exploratory teaching here, yeah, students centered, and then the students explored their knowledge not only from the teaching learning activity in the classroom. Okay, and then those three dimensions, yeah, or stages are broken down into this specific intercultural pedagogical approach. So China here proposed 6 intercultural pedagogical approach that can be adopted. Yeah, the first is language material driven, the second intercultural topic driven, and then the third one is skill oriented, the fourth one is awareness oriented, and the fifth structured teaching, and the last one is exploratory teaching. So if we can see here that the first and then the second approach here concern to the shiftings of what is it, teaching linguistic knowledge alone to teaching both linguistic and cultural. Yeah, so it seems like an integrations of language and culture, language teaching and cultural teaching, yeah, in EFL classroom. So the teachers in language materials driven here, that the teacher or the lectures, they use textbooks or adopt the teaching materials given by the governments, and also at the same times the intercultural topic driven makes them create some intercultural topic not only in specific subject, but also in all the subject, almost all the subject, it is inserted by the intercultural topic. For example, in teaching reading, yeah, or in teaching listening. So the topic will be about the intercultural topic, yeah, such as what is it, in group, out group, or a stereotyping, or a culture shock, yeah, and many more, yeah. So here intercultural topic driven. And then the third and then the fourth approach, it tends to be like a teaching orientation, yeah. So in teaching orientation here, the teacher tends to focus on developing their the students' skills of intercultural communications, and also developing their intercultural awareness. So they try to develop such a communicative event for their students and give them more chance to practice their intercultural communication skills. Yeah. So here the skill oriented and awareness oriented. And then the fifth and the sixth approaches, structured teaching and exploratory teaching, it tends to be the teaching structure. Yeah, this teaching structure. So the teacher goals tends to explore their teaching activity by what is it, conducting previous various activities such as inquiry, project-based learning, or doing some project, so that their students can explore more about intercultural education, not only in the classroom. All right, so here are the 6 intercultural pedagogical approach. And the last findings is related to the implementations of Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka in my institution. So I propose such a designs of blueprint for curriculum informed intercultural education. It is created by me myself. So I try to start from the stages here. Here are the stages of curriculum development. Anchored from anchored from the theory of curriculum development. There are 10 stages here, such as the first, determine the agree on the educational or professional context in which the programs is to be developed and delivered, and then determine the aims and broad learning outcomes of the programs, define the needs of the learners, identify ideas and constraints, and so on and so forth. So there are 10 stages here. And then the second point here, I try to concerns on the objectives of MBKMs, particularly in students exchange programs, studied in the documents of MBKMs, Kemendikbud 2020. So the goals is to increase the insight of the students into nationality, and then it is also related to the love of homeland, and then understanding of diversity and tolerance, and then have an understanding of the cultural diversity, custom, ethnicity, language, and various potential wealth of sources, as well as another potential that is covered by the nations and country. So here are the goals of MBKMs, particularly for students exchange program that is that will be conducted in my institutions next semester. So what I can suggest for intercultural teaching practice in my institutions. So in order to support this program, these students actions programs, in order to achieve this goal, so I can suggest this intercultural teaching practice. The first is by incorporating intercultural teachings into language teaching, as proposed by or has been conducted in China tertiary level. The first stage is incorporating intercultural teaching into language teaching. So there is a shifting between teaching language only and teaching culture, but make it into integration activity, integrated activity, I mean. And then the second is using English language displayed more features of lingua franca communications. It is very important in terms of developing their intercultural communication skills. Since the speakers of English from non-native, non-native speakers, English non-native speakers, it is more than native speakers. Studies mentioned about that. So that it's very important to use English language display more features of lingua franca, expand the target language culture. And then the third one is the teaching procedure should context for cultural learnings and create rich opportunity for perspective taking from various point of view. And then using a variety of teaching methods of intercultural teaching and literatures, as suggested by many literatures of intercultural education, such as role play, critical literary analysis, portfolio, peer feedbacks, focus on written narratives, yeah. And then also the important things is integrating a computer mediated teaching approach, yeah, for intercultural educations. Such as blogs, simultaneous online classes and offline forum, yeah, and so on and so forth, and even social media, yeah. And then developing instructional and assessment tools, yeah, for intercultural education, and then creating intercultural encounters event with international students, yeah, such as make a communicative event in which our students can communicate directly with other peoples, yeah, from different cultures, yeah. And technology will be very helpful to support these kinds of activity. All right, so practically the principles of MBKM programs in my institution and ELT classroom, informed intercultural education, can cover these activities. Yeah. So the first, we can redesign teaching, as what I suggest before. Yeah. There are several things that we can do to redesign our teaching practice, and then do the reflection, and then make an output, yeah, as a cultural inquiry, and then noticing against what's the result, yeah, make such a cultural contrast, and then reflection, yeah, skill training. If yeah, skill training is mean that in terms of teacher, yeah, teacher professional development, or lectures professional development, yeah. All right. So the last point, what I can conclude from this research-based practice article is English teaching should prepare students to function effectively in multilingual contexts. Yeah, and then the second MBKM program should also refocus the goal of teaching and learning by shifting away from a narrower focus on linguistic or communicative competence and towards more holistic goal of intercultural competence. And the last is, as we know, Indonesia is an extraordinary diverse country. So to promote unity amidst diversity, it will be important to consider the lesson learned from China's curriculum informed intercultural education. And in such a way, developing a new approach to the curriculum need to be taken to support all teachers, students, also curriculum developers in terms of MBKM program. And here are the references I use. Thank you. Well, so that's all from me, yeah, what I can share from this research best practice articles. I do hope that it can be useful, and not only from me, but also for others, yeah. Thank you very much once again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.